All right, welcome to the Sunday night stream. Get this party started here. Um, should have some new people joining the channel, so I appreciate that. And yeah, we'll get started here. All right, so I'm gonna go over the um, I'll go over the strat setup here. We'll always try to start those um, at the beginning of the week and draw the highs and lows from the previous week. So always try to do those first. It's pretty much the most important thing for me. So we did have a failed two up week. Two up, but red here last week. So which probably more than likely created a broadening formation. Right, it's gonna be pretty close. Of course, Phoebe wants to start barking whenever I stream. I'll try to keep her barking to a minimum. Hopefully, you guys can't hear it. All right, so we are open. Little bitty candle here, you can barely see. But first of all, I wanted to draw the rest of that broad. You could draw a tight one right there, but that's not. That's a smaller one we're in. So let me remove that. So the bigger one we're in, I mean, you can just see, um, so we had a failed two up week last week, and then we'll just draw it right there, close enough. So there's a broadening formation, so I won't be surprised if we just come down this week. We did have this volume imbalance here from last week to the previous week, barely, but we did have a volume imbalance. So I'd be curious to see if they do try to come fill that volume imbalance here. Um, so we'll just have to see, what happens. But I'm gonna be curious to see if they do try to fill that volume imbalance this week. I am working on Topstep 100K combine, and then also an Apex 50K, which I almost have passed. So a lot of times what I like to do, especially, if we have a doji candle, which last week was a doji candle here on ES, what I like to do is draw the fibs from the body through the wick, and then that'll give you a good indication to see where they might start selling in this case, because we had a doji. So they're probably more than likely going to come up through this wick, but they could reverse it. They're on the week. This is a weekly candle, so keep that in mind. But yeah, they could reverse it probably somewhere around the 50%. So around 69.17 and a half. The indicator I have will not project above 1 hour, or I'm sorry, above 4 hours, I think. Um, but what this does, it's basically a mathematical calculation. Um, and these are kind of, you can look at them like pivots, but they're also a mathematical calculation based upon the open price. The farther away you get from the open, the more likely you are to see a reversal in either direction. So on the hourly, we have a what the strat would call a two up, because we are above the previous hours high there on Friday. So this would be considered a two up according to the strat. Um, on the daily, we are what the strat would consider an inside candle, because we are inside of Friday's price action. Um, and so until we break out of that, we'll just, probably we'll consolidate. We could potentially have an inside day for Sunday and Monday. Wouldn't surprise me if we do have an inside day. But I'm going to be really curious to see if we do fill this volume imbalance at some point this week here. We'll take a look at NQ. I imagine it's the same. It is. Take a look at gold. We have a two down but green day to start the day there on gold. Wait a minute. Why is it telling me the market's closed? What? Why is gold futures closed? Oh, that's the wrong contract. They must have switched contracts on gold. Did they? If I could type correctly. Yeah, I was gonna say that's wild. Why would it be closed? Okay, so inside day here on gold so far, because it is inside Friday's price action. So inside day here on gold as well. Although I mean, I'd be curious to see if we do go two down, but so far they are inside there on gold as well. And if you look at as a TTO, or broadening formation, we have that as well. So there's a broadening formation there on gold on the daily. Kind of a tight one, but that's it. Those are pretty much the only ones I look at is ES, NQ, and gold. In trading, I've just been mostly trading the micros as well. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and be more than happy to answer your questions. I tried a little bit different intro video, so I'm curious to see how that turns out whenever I go back and review it. But yeah, I tried something a little bit different here tonight, a little bit different intro video. Oh, I'll pull up my Topstep X. Oh, this is the 100K. I did go into a little bit of drawdown on that last week, and then recovered it. So I don't remember what day it was, but I just didn't have a good. There was one day I just didn't just didn't trade. I think I fell asleep with the position on and woke up and had to try to recover it. So um, definitely gonna try to stick to micros until I get combines passed and also funded until I have a buffer. So just mostly trying to stick with micros until those are finished. I don't really see a whole lot to do, especially right here at Open. Um, why is the chart frozen on Topstep X? Don't tell me they're having problems again. They sure are. They're frozen. Gosh. I tell you what, man, they have had more problems lately. Go to a couple Discord channels and see what's happening with yeah, there's no data right now on Project X. So this is why I oh my gosh. This is why I um keep more than one account on more than one data provider because of things like this. Like, why is Project X not working? I mean, it's just wild to me. Wild, wild. Rhythmic is working fine. Project X isn't. Tradeovate is working fine, but Project X isn't. So yeah. So Apex is running a phenomenal, in my opinion, phenomenal sale right now. Not so much the eval side, but the PA side. So if you get an eval account and then pass it, it's a $40 lifetime fee. That is an incredible deal with Apex, in my opinion. So feel free to use my code. It's Blues Trades. That'll get you 70% off on the eval and then a $40 lifetime PA fee if you pass it within, I think their sale goes on until I think I have to look back at my email. I think it goes on until let's see, until November the 5th. So Wednesday. So I used to be if you bought the account under their sale, whenever you passed it, you could still take advantage of that at that time. But I don't know if that's still the case or not. You may have to pass it before Wednesday, which I have one that I'm almost 100% certain I'll have passed by Wednesday. So I'll be able to take care of that or take advantage of that $40 lifetime PA fee, which I think is just insane, an insane good deal for sure. So feel free to use my code Blues Trades. That's the best way to support my channel, and that'll get you 70% off there at Apex with a $40 lifetime PA fee. Again, you may have to pass it by Wednesday in order to take advantage of that, but I'm just not 100% certain on that. Um, so anyway, but that either way, it'll get you 70% off there um, with Apex right now. So this account, I've got it to, where is it? $52,079. So I basically need like $800, $900 to get that one passed, and then I'll be able to take advantage of that $40. So I should have that passed no problem by Wednesday. And if I don't, then may just have to pay a little bit more in activation fee, but I'm certainly hoping to have it passed by Wednesday, and then I can take advantage of that. But man, Project X being down right now is not good. That's why I don't like that Top Step went to just Project X. Like, they won't allow you to trade any Rhythmic accounts anymore, no Trade Evade accounts. So if you're with Top Step, you're locked in to Project X. They own Project X. So you're locked into Project X with them, which other firms are using Project X, but at least other firms still give you the option of whether you want to use other data providers. So um I actually prefer Rhythmic with Quant Tower because I really like Quant Tower. I do also like Tradeovate with Trading View. But for Rhythmic accounts, I really prefer to use them with Quant Tower. And yeah, I mean, the executions on here are great. You can set up, they have a built in copier, so that's not an issue. You can set up an ATM strategy, and I like that that I can set orders in advance. So, what I do is with my indicator, for example, um, giving me some levels, I can go ahead and use my indicator from TradingView and then just execute on Quant Tower. I run a Mac, but I'm using a virtual server in order to run Windows, so I can run Quant Tower through that virtual private server, and that's the best way I found. I don't really care for Windows overall, and prefer Macs, but in order to run Quant Tower, you have to run it through Windows, and the same with NinjaTrader. So I run a virtual private server, pay like $40 a month or something to run the virtual private server. But it's always available even when I'm traveling, and I can still use my MacBook Pro to be able to access that. So I know there's some new people tuning in. If you have any questions about the strat, I'd be more than happy to assist you with that. Um, the strat basically changed my trading world, and I'm very thankful, that Rob created it, and he left an amazing he left an amazing system for us to use. So he did pass away a few years ago. About I guess it's probably been maybe close to 3 years ago now. But I knew him. I chatted with him a few times, and was friends with him, and yeah, it was a devastating loss to the strat community for sure. But you can Google the strat combos, and it'll come up with this sheet right here, and you can use it. I have it memorized. Also on TradingView, there is the strat. I think it's called Strat Teach Volume 2, and that'll kind of help you with it, and teach you how to use it there on TradingView as well. But basically it's a system of one, twos, and threes. So one is a consolidation or inside, which was inside of the previous candle. A two is a directional candle. It can be up or down. And then you have a three, which takes out both, also called an engulfing candle. Some people call it an engulfing candle. It takes out both sides of the previous candle. So uh, I've learned how to recognize threes as they're happening, and but yeah, they can kind of fake you out sometimes, and so, it's just, I think a lot of trading is exactly the old saying of seat time. The more you can sit and study and observe the market, I feel like the better you'll get at it. No, I don't think anybody just comes into this and just bam. Some people do come into it and they're instantly profitable, but guess what? Over the long term they are not, because they don't understand what made them profitable in the first place. So I just feel like it's something, you really have to put a lot of time into, a lot of effort. And thankfully I'm passionate about it. I really enjoy trading. And yeah, so I can't see myself never trading. Like I really enjoy it. um I like that it engages my brain. And I like numbers, so I like that it involves numbers. And yeah, I just think it's a very fascinating thing to undertake. It's a very fascinating hobby. It is not my full-time career. Probably one day it will be, but I enjoy the career I have. And but I also enjoy trading a lot, so I love helping people. And yeah, so I hope to continue that. But this is a strat combo. Again, you can look it up. And then the channel I always recommend for someone who's never traded the strat and is new to it is Sarah Strat Sniper. And she still teaches it, but they do have a paid service with that now. She also is on Ninja Trader's YouTube channel now. She goes over the strat there as well, but her channel will help you dive into the very basics of it. And of course, I'll always help you as well. The beauty of the strat is it is free. It's free to learn. There's several people that trade using it, and it's the only thing that made sense to me, because I don't use indicators. They didn't click with me. I never really understood them. And plus they're lagging in my opinion. So I would much rather just read straight pure price action, and being able to go off that. So, but if anybody has any questions, my DMs are always open. And I'll be happy to help you with the strat all I can. I do use some ICT concepts as well. I use three of them. Try to remember what all three of them are. The volume of balance is one, fair value gaps, and then I can't ever think of the third one that I use off the top of my head, but definitely the volume of balance and the fair value gaps, because what'll happen with the strat a lot of times is it'll trigger and then it'll come back inside and hit a fair value gap and then trigger again. So Rob used to always say, you don't have to be the first one in, and it took me a long time to understand what he was saying. Uh, but and I think that's what he was trying to say. He just probably didn't have a language for it. Melissa, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. You love the strat. How does it work with fair value gaps? Exactly how I just said. So what'll happen is a lot of times you'll notice that it'll trigger, and like you may go two up or two down, it'll come back inside, hit a fair value gap, and then go trigger again. So I'll try to go to a smaller time frame here and see if we can find one. Let's go to the 5 minute here on gold. Gold is probably a great example of this, because gold has a lot of reversals, right? Um, so here's one where it kind of came back in, for instance, here. And then now it's going back two down. But if you look, this is a 5 minute here on gold. Um, if you look here, you could also be in the broadening formation. Now, the strat and ICT have the broadening formation in common. I don't know of any other systems that use broadening formation, but the strat and ICT both use broadening formation. I am not a huge ICT trader, but again, there's three concepts that I like, and the fair value gap is is mainly the main one because I would just notice that it would trigger and I'm like, what's happening? Why isn't it going? Right. But it would come back in, test that fair value gap, and then go again. So I just happened to notice it, you know, again, seat time. I have not made any trades. I'm kind of being a little patient here tonight, but if anybody wants me to go over this, well, I'll just go ahead and go over the strat setups again. Um this indicator here, you probably can't see it very well. Here, let me go down to a smaller time frame. The hour is the best. So this indicator here, this automatically draws these for you. It's called Futures Pivots 2 on TradingView. If you can't find it, just message me on YouTube and I'll get a link. I am running it, I'm letting everybody use it for free. Eventually, I may charge for it, but I'm not going to worry about it, at the moment. I do okay with trading, so it's fine. Um, but basically what this is it's a mathematical calculation and formula that I came up with, I created, um, and it works for ES, NQ, and gold. ES and NQ are very similar, or I'm sorry, ES and gold are very similar in how they move. NQ has a different mathematical formula to it that I came up with. But basically, these are like pivots, and the farther away you get from the open, which is GO, stands for Globex Open, the farther away you get from those, then the more likely you are to reverse. What I've noticed also with this indicator is this is the only indicator I use, guys. So with this indicator, um, Asia will tend to stay within the threes. So you've got GO, which stands for Globex Open. You've got level one, level two, level three, to the upside and the downside. Asia almost always stays within level threes. Um, then comes London, and then that will expand in either direction. And then there comes New York, which will expand Asia and London in most cases. Um, this does show back. You can change it. It does show back up to 3 sessions, but normally does not draw the Asia box, London box until it occurs. Um, but yeah, so if you guys are interested in this indicator, it is on TradingView and it's free. So but it is invite only, so you'll have to send me a and I'm Blues Queen 23 on TradingView. You'll have to send me a message, and then I can add you to the script so you can have it. There are some people using it along with EMAs, SMAs. Some people are using it with VWAPs. One lady, she just got a payout using it on gold. So I was very, very happy for her. And she messaged me and said it was her very first payout, and she got it using the indicator. So I thought that was fantastic. It made me very, very happy for her. So gonna try to see if the guy who you know wrote the program for me can translate it to Quant Tower. It is available on Ninja Trader as well, but mostly just Ninja Trader and um, Trading View at the moment. But I'm gonna see, since I'm mostly using Quant Tower, which I much prefer over Ninja. I really don't like Ninja Trader at all. Um, so I'm gonna see if maybe he can translate it to Quant Tower for me. I don't know how many people would be interested in it. Being on you know, Quant Tower, but I like Quant Tower, so So Apex is running an interesting sale. I've never seen them run one like this. So 70% off evals and $40 lifetime fee, which I think is incredible. I mean, it's a heck of a lot better than 85 or 140. So I'll take it. I'll take it. I should have this eval done here within a couple of days. I need less than $1,000. Um, so I should have this done here in a couple of days, and then I'll be able to take advantage of that $40 lifetime fee. So I'm excited about that sale for real. So you guys can use my code Blues Trades. That'll get you the 70% off plus the $40 lifetime fee. Um, it's the best way to support my channel besides like, subscribing, and then sharing my channel. So I appreciate it. Melissa, how long did it take for trading to click for you? Well, that's a loaded question. So I traded options off and on for 4 years. Um, and I was green overall. Um, but there were some roller coaster moments for certain. Um, honestly, it wasn't until I found the strat that it really clicked. Like the minute I found the strat, I just I I was blown away because it all made sense to me like immediately. Um, so yeah, I would say when I found the strat about 3 4 years ago, I've been trading futures for 2 years. Um, and I am profitable overall, but not as profitable as I would like to be. And but a lot of that is my doing, not the system. It's it's my being hard-headed. um my mama used to say I was hard-headed. She's been gone since 2020 and I miss her every single day. She was my best friend, and I took care of her, and she was the best mom I could have ever asked for, and I'd pick her a million times again. So excuse me. Yeah, I miss her a lot, but um yeah, probably the best trade I made was before she passed away. I traded Tesla options. I turned $800 into 20K overnight. Um I mean, I just didn't really know what I was doing, honestly. And I just looked at the chart and said, oh, it looks like Tesla's going to go up. So I bought two $400 call options. And so that was $800 total. And the next morning at 8:30, I had 20K. It was wild. Um, so later that year, I ended up buying a Tesla. And I still have it. I love that car. It's fantastic car to drive. I have fun with it. Um, it's probably the only car I've ever owned that still feels brand new every time you get into it. Like, a gas powered car, it lags after, 100,000 miles or whatever. Not the Tesla, it still feels the same. So I love that about Tesla. Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much so yeah, I would say it all clicked when I found the strat. So I'm very thankful to Rob for leaving the strat, and I think there's quite a few of us in the community that try to do him justice and pass it forward and teach it. Um I when there's so many gurus out here, right, that want to charge you $5,000, $10,000 or whatever, and just to teach you something simple that you can learn for free, right? They're shysters. Um, but when Rob was giving the strat away for free, I knew it had to be something to it. I knew it had to be something to it. I'm like, nobody does this for free. So I was like, this really got to be something, right? So yeah, so I delved into it, and thankfully, I was lucky to be friends with him and chat with him a few times, and we would text and talk on the phone, and I was actually supposed to meet him in Chicago. I had gone to Chicago for Chicago Blues Festival. Hence my name Blues Trades, because I was an agent for blues musicians for over 15 years. I still do that occasionally, but for the most part, I really enjoy just being a fan now. Um, but yeah, so I was supposed to meet him, and he texted me that he wasn't feeling well. He was sick, so I didn't go, and or I mean, I didn't go meet up with him, and then he went to the hospital. Like, I think this was a few weeks later, maybe, and then he never came out. So, um, you know, I don't know. I hated it, and it broke my heart whenever he passed away. So, um, but he left the strap for us, and yeah. And I've learned if I just take my time and, oh, here's a fair value gap. Perfect, perfect, perfect. On, you see how this came back in to touch all this liquidity here? That's what I consider a fair value gap. I don't know if ICT considers that, but yeah, it's going to come back inside here, and then before it probably goes two down, right? And it may trigger two down here, still come back inside and touch it again, and then go down. Okay, there it goes. It just went two down on gold there on that 5 minute. But you see how it came back and touched all this liquidity first? So because this was an outside candle here on the previous 5 minutes, you're either going to get back inside or two down, right? So um your entry, if you did the strat entry, which is here, yeah, you're still in profit. But if you can learn to recognize where that fair value gap is, you can be more profitable. So it was just, again, it was seat time of, recognizing those fair value gaps in real time. Placing your entry there instead of where the strat entry says to go. The strat entry is much safer, but if you know where those fair value gaps are, it's going to help you a lot. So, yeah. All right, I am going to get off here. Um, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, feel free to use my Apex code. It'll get you 70% off right now and a $40 lifetime fee. Um, I'm hoping you don't have to pass it by Wednesday to take advantage of that, but just be cautious and understand it could be a possibility that they won't extend that lifetime fee, past Wednesday. Uh, but I know in the past what they've done is if you bought the account under the sale, they honored the lifetime fee whenever you passed it. I don't know if that's still 100% the case. So just keep that in mind. But either way, please like, subscribe, and forward my videos. I very much appreciate it. Trying to get my channel to grow. Just a few shot subs of 500. So it's definitely a milestone for me to be able to get to 500 subs, and then we'll look at 1,000. But um, if anybody has any questions about the strat, again, feel free to reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you, and we'll keep on trading. All right, you all take care. Be safe this week. Stay green. And I'll try to do some streams here through the week as well, but those are normally late night. Uh, if I can get myself up out of bed, which I'm not a morning person, hence why I work an evening shift job. But if I can get up, then I'll try to do some morning streams. I don't really like trading New York, honestly. I much prefer to trade Asia in London session. Just because I'm a night owl and my brain just functions better at night, it seems. So I've been a night owl all my life, but yeah, I'm gonna try to do some New York streams and try to go over some things there with the strat as well. So all right, hope everyone takes care. Be safe. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.